from the blackest corners of your mind, they call, pulling you deep into shadow, twisting your senses, keeping you from sleep. It's time to face your darkest fears. This is Tales to Terrify. Good evening, children of the night, and welcome. Do you hear that? In the distance? The sound of screeching metal and rattling chains? That, children of the night, is the sound of the twisted gates of our submissions portal slowly beginning to swing shut. But fear not. You've still got time to slide your macabre masterpiece in under the wire, if you're quick. Midnight on Monday, September 30th, the portal slams shut forever. Or, well, until our next submissions period sometime next year, anyway. TalesToTerrify.com/submissions. Head over, check it out, and bring your twisted tales with you. We've got a hungry pack of slush readers waiting to devour them. Help me make sure they're well fed, will you? Speaking of being well fed, let's get you a little something frightful to chew on. We have one story for you this evening about a girl who wants nothing more than to become the perfect daughter for her mother's birthday. Our tale tonight comes to us from Jennifer Lesh Fleck. Jennifer Lesh Fleck's speculative fiction has been published by, or is forthcoming in, The Arcanist, Metastellar, Cosmic Horror Monthly, If There's Anyone Left, The Creepy Podcast, Radon Journal, and Diet Milk. She lives in the Pacific Northwest in a home that's the spitting image of the Amityville Horror House, though repainted a cheerful jade green. Her work is often informed by the challenges of lifelong hidden disability from a rare inherited disease. Find her on Instagram and on Twitter. Links are in the show notes. Children of the night, join me for Jennifer Lesh Fleck's Wild Possibilities, a Tales to Terrify original.
Mama carefully picks something black and gooey from the corner of her eye, then leans back from the mirror, appraising. "Pretty nice job," she says. "Wouldn't you say, Belinda?" "Pretty's right," I say, careful not to crowd into her reflected view. "But mostly, it's all you." She likes that last line, a rehash of something she's said about herself. The small bathroom is heavy with the smell of lotions, powders, hairspray. Mama divides her tresses using the point of her comb, precise as a mathematical equation. Only a lucky few can get away with the center part. People like Mama and like the young Vivian Lee, whom she's said to resemble. Last night, we watched Gone with the Wind again. I fell asleep with Atlanta still burning, its after-image on my closed eyelids. Now the comb clatters to the sink, and her lips twitch with dissatisfaction. Right eyebrow, a good 1/2 mil off. A touch-up won't pose a problem. Under Mama's skin, hidden helpers are already at work. Poisons deposited into muscles she wants stationary, sugar molecules plumping areas she wants plushly showcased. Barbed strings hike her up. I picture pulleys and cantilevers, a complex architectural restoration hidden behind an impenetrable white fence. She used to drag me with her to watch everything put back into its rightful place. When the nurse started giving Mama the hairy eyeball and sending me out to the lobby with its beat-up gossip magazines, that's when she decided I'd stay home. She's got to look extra nice. Mama's birthday is next Saturday. Today she'll kick off the festivities early with what she calls a liquid lunch, accompanied by Big D, her current boyfriend. D doesn't know Mama's true age. If asked, she goes all coy, then turns the question back on you. Confidentially, I myself have been 13 a few too many times, so it's taken me extra long to reach 16. When you've moved all over, such details become, as Mama says, quite malleable. She can't stay young if I don't remain young too. "What number am I today?" Mama says, reading my mind. I have the answer ready. "Today you are 29. This earns me a little flick of a grin, quick as a garter snake's tongue. I'm lying, but she's none the wiser. I've discovered an important insight. Mama can scrutinize my face and body as much as she wants, giving me those old elevator eyes. All she can observe are my surfaces, and surfaces are subject to change over time. What Mama can't do is peer inside, where my true thoughts and opinions lurk. Learning this secret is a new kind of freedom. The doorbell rings. A stroke of luck. Mama hasn't had a single second to spare picking at me. Besides, this year I plan to give my mother a birthday surprise. I'm going to show up on her special day transformed, every inch the sleek, willowy girl she's always wanted me to be. I'll step onto the patio we've reserved at the River's End Bar and Grill and reflect back Mama's beauty, magnify it. Finally, I'll earn her awe. Overly eager girls get neither callbacks nor calls back, Mama says. Get on down there and stall Big D. If he inquires, say I'm powdering my décolletage. Liquid lunches last into the late afternoon, often giving way to sudsy suppers. Time enough to launch my plan. I'm meeting up with Angelica from my homeschooler social club. My attendance is sporadic, whenever Mama feels I'm becoming too much of a little antisocial creep. So Angelica and I aren't what you'd call close friends, but she feels something for me. Compassion might be one word for it. Pity, another. Rumors are correct. I can help a sister out. What she told me in the note we kept passing under the table. She'd underlined can twice. Saturday at 2, Victory Park Kiddie Slide. Bring cash. Our crumpled note rides in my pocket like a good luck charm. Everything's damp, the park devoured by a cloud bank. I drift in this fog, following the concrete edge around the playground sand like a balance beam. My stupid long skirt with the busted hem drags, wicking up moisture. Angelica's late. Keep moving whenever you find yourself nervous and with slack time. It burns calories. I don't have a way to reach Angelica. Mama doesn't believe in phones for teens, says reversed necks are a youth epidemic, and one sweet day we lads and lassies will all pay the piper. With cheeks full as yours, Belle, you can't risk it, she says. That noggin must outweigh the proverbial bowling ball. Right when I figure I'm being stood up, Angelica's red peacoat appears in the gloom. That you? What's with the spooky Holly Hobby get-up? I need to do wash. In truth, it's my attempt to craft something cottagecore from a bolt of vintage calico. Ugly and prim, this elastic-waisted skirt still fits me better than the stuff Mama likes. Anyway, here's the stuff. Angelica tosses me a little burlap sack. Without thinking, I press it to my nose like potpourri, and instantly I'm wrenched back to that time Mama and I explored a cavern in the sea cliffs. My 13th birthday. Well, one of them, anyhow. The tide was out, exposing a narrow, rocky beach and a shallow cave. a rancid, briny scent everywhere. The color in Mama's face was high. I wanted to turn back. She wanted to go all the way in, for curiosity's sake. Near the back wall, splayed upon barnacle-studded rocks, a horrendous surprise. A headless sea lion bristling with flies. Battered meat, pink raw. This became a teachable moment for my science unit, as Mama poked the pinniped's corpse with a sea-whittled branch to illustrate. I stooped, quietly retched up my clam chowder. "God, no," Angelica says. "Don't sniff it. Brew a pinch in hot water, like a tea." Her fingers pincer like she's holding an imaginary pea. "This much, no more. Can I sprinkle it on food?" "No! That's not how the curandera at the swap meet told us to do it. Besides, shit tastes even worse than it smells." Then she turns a slow pirouette. "But worth it, right? I mean, what do we think?" To me, Angelica Hernandez has always been gorgeous. Soaring cheekbones, whip-slender thighs. Still, I nod vigorously, murmuring appreciative things. I'm excited, tucking the plump bag in my skirt pocket. I want to head straight home and get started. "Not so fast, Pennsylvania Dutch country," Angelica says. "That's $50 of product there, plus finder's fee." "Of course." I fumble with the money. A few bills from my dad's infrequent guilt offerings, mini coins from Mama's mad money jug. "Pocket change, Belinda? The fuck I'm gonna do with nickels and dimes?" "Mostly it's quarters," I say. "So, how long does this whole thing take to, kick into gear?" "Depends. Some of us see results in as little as 6 weeks." She scowls as I hastily press another handful of coins on her. I don't have much time. When I get home, Mama's at the breakfast bar. She has the flushed, greasy look she gets when lunch has run over long, like she spent the day on a scruffy towel at Woodstock 99, not dining with cloth napkins and a river view. "You're home early?" I say. "And you're home late." "Didn't have homework. I'm ahead in my work." "You had work. You were to meal prep for our week, Belinda. Success in keto depends upon preparedness, not leaving things all loosey-goosey. There's scrambled eggs in the pan." After silently noting the open box of powdered donuts on the counter, I sit and quietly gag down cold, rubbery eggs. It's not enough. Mama's in a mood. Woozy and jittery, she clatters around the kitchen, making a pathetic stab at cleaning. "I can get that," I say as she closes the dishwasher with a vicious kick. "Damn it! Another dent. They'll bleed my deposit dry." She gives me a wild look, her eyes raccoon-ringed in mascara. The stainless door is covered with similar dents from weekends past. "Mama, I said I'll do it. Come on, you're tired. Let me handle it." "I do not look tired." She rushes at me, seizes my chin. Her lacquered nails dig in, stopping me from toppling backward. "You're one to talk, belly girl. When you're not sticking your big goon face into my business, you're stuffing it, always porking out. Don't think I haven't taken note of your Sansa-belt skirt there." She releases me and then does this terrible thing she's done a few too many times lately. Puts her fingers on the sides of her head and puffs her cheeks, squealing at me. A decent impression of a piglet, but her bony face and flashing red claws give her the look of a deranged devil. "Mom, stop. This is so unnecessary. Please, we don't have to behave like this together." That's when Big D sidles in from wherever he's been hiding, probably off making a phone call, code for rendering the bathroom unfit for human occupation. Knowing someone else is witnessing this shameful skit makes me feel something new. Sickly tendrils, not only of sadness, but of rage. "What's the commotion, ladies?" Big D's silk tie hangs loose, his calfskin belt unbuckled, and his charcoal dress shirt is missing a button. He has a sloppily handsome, meaty face, the chin and neck blue-gray from the beard he scrapes away every morning. I should know. I'm the one who cleans the speckled scum from Mama's sink. "Hey, sugar, Don't look so bummed to see me. He gives me a side embrace, the kind I usually duck out from under with a giggle to spare his dignity. His piney cologne envelops me, a whiskey note lurking underneath. What you getting up to these days, anyhow? Oh, nothing much. This time, I give him a hug back, a real one. Arms open, my body twisted fully toward him. I register the stiff shock in his muscles. Over his shoulder, I watch Mama eyeball me with alarm and disgust. Keeping busy, keeping my head down, staying out of trouble. Good girl. He disentangles himself, smooths his crumpled tie. Soon he's whistling, bustling, whipping up cocktails. He shepherds Mama off to the den. I inspect the cocktail shaker, then pull the burlap bag from my pocket and tip in a bit of its contents. The curandera's magical slimming powder looks like something healthy and familiar. Chia seeds, kava, ground lion's mane mushroom. But the smell, complex, conjuring up dark, slick, tucked-away places, pounded by a heartless sea. Here goes nothing. I gulped the icy slurry, my first time tasting alcohol. It burns, doing little to mask the foulness, leaving me dry heaving. Wednesday. I've taken the treatment since Saturday night, mixing up generous shots using whatever's around. Juice, lemonade, milk, whiskey. Nothing knocks out the marine rankness, but I persevere. At night, I take more, hoping to speed the process. Though I tap in heaping doses of the cricket-colored grounds, the little bag never empties. An atmospheric river has arrived from the Pacific, giving us this dark morning of torrential rain. Mama's got the newspaper spread all over the kitchen table and her sads light out, ostensibly basking in its healing glow. Cheap readers perch on her nose. When she notices me, she tucks the glasses into her satin robe, then slides an editorial page over coupons she's been clipping. Mama doesn't like anyone to know her eyesight is fading, nor that she's poor enough to need discounts. The real reason she's up bright and early is to inspect my breakfast. Usually it's unsweetened Greek yogurt or keto cereal made from edible stones and twigs. Feeling uncharacteristically impish, I've decided to give her something else to chew on. Big D left behind a plastic carton of Danishes. Glossy, fat with yolk-colored cream. Today, 2 pastries perched jauntily on my violet-sprigged plate. Oh, you want one? I say. Mama's expressions can be difficult to read, given the chronically stationary position of her perfectly arched eyebrows. Right now her eyeballs bulge, straining, as though she means to pop them out of her skull using sheer strength of will. I see 2 bloody ping-pong balls arcing across the breakfast table and giggle. Weaponized eyeballs. What the actual fuck, Belinda? Ah, come on. Let's be bad together, Mama. Can't we just once? I slide a Danish onto her newspaper. We'll find clever ways to work off the calories. Your attitude today is bizarre. I neither like nor condone it. And is that something different you've got going on with your hair? Her hands are a frustrated flutter. All messy and zigzaggy up top? Just trying something new. It's funny, simply brushing my dark waves forward, then parting them, creating a pale zigzag of scalp. This throws Mama off the scent of the trail. The new hairdo is a deliberate distraction, and it works. What I don't want her to notice, not yet, are the changes. Because I am changing. Took a day or 2, my mouth constantly dry, rancid with the briny tang of the curandera's powder. I'd all but lost hope when the first ache hit. Now my arms and legs feel a constant drawing, pulling sensation at their sockets. Mama rises with a huff, leaving me to deal with her breakfast mess. In her bedroom, her freshly pressed silk dress waits, her heels polished, her jewelry sparkling. She's the public face of an art gallery favored by tourists. The job's beneath her, she says, but it's one of the few she's qualified for. Years ago, a gallery in California displayed Mama's own paintings. An exclusive show. When reviews came in, she hungrily clipped them for the scrapbook we were building together. Then she uncovered the sole critic who didn't have nice things to say. Mama's paintings were tedious, sloppily executed, and terminally derivative, adding nothing new or valuable to the conversation. The scrapbook went in the trash. All night my mother raved, driving first a knife and then her bare fist through her canvases, though I pleaded with her to reconsider. It was too late. She gave up painting forever. The words of her worst critic transformed into the very ones she lobbed at others, sometimes in private, sometimes right in front of the offending artist. I've never minded getting everything ready so Mama can relax and mentally prepare for her day. But this morning, I don't get that special Hollywood gala feeling. I don't feel as though I'm preparing Cinderella for her grand debut. Truth be told, I'm starting to see myself as Cinderella. And Mama's looking more and more like the wicked stepsisters and their stepmother, all rolled up into one nasty ball. Metamorphosis isn't a comfortable thing. Tonight in bed I ache with growing pains, ones I can't tell my mother about. My spine lengthening silently, my arms and legs extruding from their sockets. I'm becoming lanky, ectomorphic, elegant. I lay in the dark listening to the storm, plagued by strange and fearful thoughts, wondering what caterpillars would murmur from within the tight confines of their chrysalises. A memory floats up from some black pit. Back when Mama took an active role in my education, she bought a kit from a science website. Together, we reared Luna moths from eggs. We fed the caterpillars walnut and sweet gum leaves. Each worm grew and grew. Then it found a quiet spot to spin its cocoon. Mama collected and peeled away these silk casings, revealing something dark, shiny, and entirely different underneath. Within a day or two, nothing remained of my cute friends but prune-colored sarcophagi. Mama and I checked on our pupae often. Quiet as they were, I still considered them pampered pets. But she had different ideas. One day during class, Mama decided to prove to me that a mysterious transformation was taking place within each shiny carapace. With a nail tip, she poked and prodded. The pupae wiggled vigorously at her touch, producing a clicking noise. "Still, how do you know?" I asked. "Know they're really doing it, really changing?" She smiled like I'd said something very clever. Extracting a pupa from the aquarium, she placed it on a napkin. "You've got to have faith in the process," she said. Then she dissected the pupa, splitting it with a scalpel so I could view its inner workings. My vision glazed with tears. No moth inside, only a confused yellow-green gore. When we released the survivors and they took their first dizzying flight on fairy green wings, all I could think of was the one she'd sacrificed for my education. That moth in the making. That young promise my mother turned into a smear. Tonight, I remember, something in me shifts seismically. Friday morning. Mama lies frozen on the couch, a clay mask distorting her facial features. Chips of cucumber cover her eyes like coins on a corpse. "Female trouble," she says, but what this means is hangover. A slight nasal rattle, her version of a snore. Now I can saunter about unimpeded, no reason to slouch or hide my rapidly slenderizing figure inside another giant sweatshirt. I leave a note. Gone to social club, Cobb salad in fridge. As I walk, I consider how stupid it is that I'm still enrolled in high school. I finished my curriculum years ago. I take filler and fluff classes. I could be enrolled in the community college, earning credits that matter, or studying in a university library, far from here, the comfort of books around me. Truth is, I know exactly how old I am. I'm 18. Mama may have lost my birth certificate along the way, obfuscating enough to introduce an element of confusion. But deep down, I've kept track. I'm legally an adult. If I can only cut the tangled apron strings, I can leave her any time I want. With every long-legged stride I take, the idea becomes more enticing. I'll get through this birthday gala. When things die down and our routine returns to usual, I'll break the news. I'm leaving Mama. I only hope that before I go, she'll see me, recognize what I've become, feel proud of me. You look amazing. What the holy hell happened, Holly Hobby? As soon as I enter the homey church rec room, I have the attention of not only Angelica, but her shadows, the S&P twins, Serena and Perdita. I toss my head. New hairstyle. Like it? Bullshit, HH. Angelica playfully punches my trim bicep. Fess up to my girls. You're on the powder like the rest of us. It's working hella fast, though. This from either Serena or Perdita. I'm honestly not sure. You gotta be 5 inches taller. Gaunt looks good on you. That jawline. Honestly, Belinda could model, Angelica says, scooting closer in a protective, even territorial manner. I'm her find, her bright new ingenue, and Salt and Pepper better get used to it. I'm not talking catalog work, I mean runway. They love odd beauty, that little something extra, the X factor. There is a strangeness to her features, one twin says. Her sister quickly adds, she doesn't mean that negatively. During auditions and cattle calls, you'll stand out. You'll be remembered. Thanks. I might be sort of rushing the process. I let my eyes go modestly downcast. Inside, I'm all over the place. Modeling. Acting. 2 of my mother's special interests long ago, though ultimately they guttered out. I'm taking lots of product. I've got a big event tomorrow. Gotta look my best. Briefly, I touch upon the party highlights. Riverside patio with fire pits, 5-piece band, fancy finger foods. Angelica frowns. When you say you're taking a lot, what do you mean? Yes, the twins say. Spill your secrets. I offer only a crumb of truth. 2 doses a day. The twins pull out a cat print notebook and begin scribbling notes with a well-chewed pencil. I natter on about skincare and makeup, a pocket expert, thanks to Mama. But Angelica silently twists the tail of her long braid, unconvinced. After club, we shrug on our coats. Rain and strong winds have kicked up. Somehow, walking home drenched to the skin sounds refreshing, exhilarating. We're giving you a ride. It's awful out. Angelica's tone indicates this isn't up for discussion. Her voice softens. I'm worried about you. You're going at this way too hard. Yes, you're a smoke show, but there's a fine line, Belinda. One not to be crossed. Don't play fast and loose with things you're ignorant about. Gulping down lamprey can't be healthy. Lamprey? Only ingredient I can get out of the curandera. Trade secrets, she says. Nasty stuff. Works, but nasty. Well, what do I expect? She's a bruja. It ain't gonna be pleasant. A witch. And if my mom ever figures out I've been dipping into black magic, she'll wring my neck. Lamprey. A fish. That's all I can remember. Though Mama's not home, the computer's off limits outside school hours, and she keeps a log. The word swims through my thoughts while I eat my early dinner alone. A piece of salmon the size of a pack of cards, some wilted kale. Then I take my foul dose with a whole-body shudder, chasing it with Coke. The plump burlap sack shows 0 signs of depletion. Tomorrow's the party, so I take another dose, shivering. Then curl up in the den to reread a novel. Hours pass. Mama's still gone. Normally I'd be worried. Rain streams down the front window, another atmospheric river slamming our coastline. But the quiet is so enjoyable. Mama's simply out having her pre-birthday hurrahs. I put on Gone with the Wind while I wash dishes. I recite its dialogue by heart. Out of nowhere, pain hits me. So intense I lose my balance, nearly fall. Like fiery branding irons pressed to both sides of my ribcage. My heart flips and flops. Pain again, like twin sharks attacking. Searing, tearing. As Scarlett O'Hara tumbles downstairs again, I half stumble, half run to the bathroom. Yank up my shirt, and there they are. I can't comprehend what I'm seeing, not at first. On each side of my body, the thin skin over my ribs has split open, forming a set of 7 red raw slits. Frozen in place, I watch these slits open and close rhythmically, like inflamed vents. Breathing, like gills. I don't scream, I don't faint, simply turn from side to side, marveling. Then let my shirt fall. Go to the computer, shake the mouse awake. Sluggish old beast needed to be upgraded years ago, but it's all I have. The page takes forever to load. Then I see it, the lamprey. An ancient species, jawless, with a long, eel-like body. Native to our river, born here, migrating to the ocean, returning to spawn. Carnivorous, with a mouth, oh God, the sucker-like mouth. So many teeth, radiating rows of them, wicked, backward-pointing. Without thinking, I stroke my jaw and chin, still sore from my mother's recent attack in the kitchen. Waves of nausea. What have I done to myself? I've been in bed for gauzy, uncountable hours when Mama comes home. 2:32 a.m. Must have slept then. Her birthday, officially. Though we've had our struggles recently, I'm comforted. My mother's home safe. Up early the next morning, my ribs burning. I rush to the bathroom mirror, hoping against hope that my strange wounds have healed miraculously. They're still there, 7 raw smiles on each side of me. Horrible gills that flutter, gasping again and again. Must not be necessary for survival. I'm still breathing fine. But how far will this thing go? Helplessly, I lean closer, open my mouth, and see changes inside there, I think. Don't my teeth look pointier? Aren't there too many of them? I smooth my blouse, feeling faint. Suddenly seized by inspiration, I yank out the burlap sack and dump it in the toilet. I spit on the foul grounds, my own form of curse. They foam in answer, reeking like an ill-managed cannery in July, its surfaces sticky with the chum of countless tails and scales. I flush the powder, once and for all. Good riddance. Keep moving. No slack time. I dress in the outfit I picked for Mama's big day. A blazer, fussy blouse, A-line skirt. Her favorite look. For once, everything fits perfectly. I head to the kitchen and in a frenzy start cooking. Every burner going, most of our pots and pans employed. Rashers of bacon, a whole loaf of bread toasted, pancakes piled high, all the jellies and jams out. Mama and Big D are finally drawn from her lair by these savory and sweet scents. What on heaven and earth? Mama says. The soft voice she uses before she explodes. Matted hair, swollen eyes. A fine surprise on this foul-weather day, Big D says, hitching up his sagging pajama pants. He looks perfectly ready to tuck into the feast laid out on the breakfast bar. Your mom had a real rough time last night, sugar. Big old cedar snapped and fell on the patio at the bar. Gotta cancel, push forward the festivities. Tree went like a toothpick. He grins like a precocious boy, then notices Mama's stony eyes. Ah, now, Samantha, we're gonna take that time and make your shindig bigger and better. Well, enjoy, Mama, I said. All this here is for you. We don't need a fancy venue. We'll celebrate here, make our own party. Happy 45! The last pops out of me. Instantly, I regret it. With a snarl, she flies at me. But I'm looking down now, a full head taller, at her chalk-white scalp, mossy brunette curls. This stops her cold. A slow smirk spreads across her face. Ew. Not your hairstyle. Something isn't right with you. You look like a ridiculous noodle, Belle. Starving yourself. dying to upstage me. Ha! You're Gumby in a micro-mini. Eat a cheeseburger, you disaster. Tossing her head, she flounces to the patio to sulk and smoke a Camel. Dee follows, but not before grabbing his plate of goodies. Scrubbing plates, I watch the wind pick at the hem of my mother's dressing gown, like an insistent child she's ignoring. She's holding court loudly. Dee tries to hug her, to calm her. I could be hundreds of millions of miles away, slinking along the dark side of Jupiter. They wouldn't notice. Mama feels nothing for me, nothing good. And I feel nothing good for her, right back. A long, drama-filled day for Mama. She rattles off the sorry tale of her dashed birthday plans countless times over speakerphone, voice growing progressively more sloshy, an affected Southern belle accent creeping in, the one she gets when she's drunk. She's enjoying herself, hogging center stage. By dinner, she's retreated to her room for beauty rest, Dee following like the unappreciated acolyte he is. I pack a suitcase, then unpack it, discarding nearly everything I own. I won't need it. I find a scrap of paper for my goodbye note. Something funny's happening to my fingers, like they're forgetting how to function, like there are fewer than usual. I managed to scrawl, "Slimming powder, it works." I tape this to the chubby little bag, already replenished, and prop it by Mama's cell phone. A gift she'll actually appreciate. Her bedroom stinks like befouled marine life. Dee wakes with a snort. His eyes go round at the sight of me. I flutter my lashes and caress my hair, and a hank comes loose, slides to the floor. Then I lean in, get right up on Mama, press my mouth to her greasy cheek. "Don't!" Dee grabs my wrist. "Please don't hurt Sammy. I love her." The mark I leave on my mother is round and angry, a circular impression of the many, many points of me that are new. My goodbye kiss might not scar, but I can't swear to it. She lurches up, locks eyes with me, and howls. Screams like a doomed city of souls on fire as I wriggle out the window, slipping into the storm. Rain drenches me, comforts me, hides me as I lope down a gutter of racing stormwater on feet I can barely feel. I'm headed to the river and the ocean, or to the city and its pretty, pretty lights. The possibilities are endless and wild. I'll figure it all out as I go.
That was Jennifer Lesh Fleck's Wild Possibilities, as read by Aven Shore. Aven Shore is an audiobook narrator, beekeeper, and friend to chickens. She lives and works from a home studio in the woods of rural Canada. Thank you, Aven. Well, children of the night, the hour is late, and we've run out of tales to tell. For now. Tales to Terrify is made possible by the tremendous generosity of our supporters on Patreon and PayPal. Incredible fans like Lestle Baxter, Amanda Carrillo, Amanda Gottfried, and Orion D. Hegre, whose generous support keeps these lights on and flickering ominously. If you're not a supporter, head over to patreon.com/Tales to Terrify. You'll find all kinds of perks, like ad-free episodes, bonus content, and one-of-a-kind collectibles. Every dollar goes back into this show, and we appreciate your support so much. Want another way to support the show that doesn't cost you a cent? Head over to Podchaser, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts and drop us a 5-star review. You'll not only put an unnaturally wide smile on our faces, but help new listeners discover our terrifying tales, too. You can show your love of the show out in the world with some Tales to Terrify merch. TalesToTerrify.com/merch will take you to our TeePublic store, where we've got a great collection of creepy custom and curated designs. Tales to Terrify is produced by Seth Williams, Meredith Morgenstern, Andrew Gibson, Crystal Hammond, Spencer Disparty, and myself, Drew Sebastini, with original theme by Nebulous Entertainment. Tales to Terrify is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives license. Join us again next week as we descend into darkened waters with more Tales to Terrify.